Okay, guys. Hello. Welcome to the boot camp. Before getting into any kind of introduction and anything, can you just quickly tell me if I'm audible to you clearly or not? If everything is clearly visible to you? Or yeah. Okay. Great. Okay, so now we will begin the session from today. Okay, we'll have 5 days to cover all of the concepts that we have, and we'll see everything closely. We'll see everything in depth. No need to worry about this, and we have a lot of time. Okay, do not worry about time. We have 5 days. We have around 5 to 6 hours to complete all these things. So better not worry about this. We'll see one. We'll see each and everything one by one. Okay. So once again, I welcome you to this session, to this boot camp, where we will be building MERN Stack application. And what that application will be, I will explain you in just a minute. So we will today kind of get into the intro of the session. Okay. So we'll try understanding what this website will be and how we will be building it up. What all features are we going to add and what will be architecture. Okay. So in that case, we'll understand the basic architecture, basic implementation. So that's what we'll begin with. Then see, after we are done with the architecture, we will move to kind of working on the backend part. First, we are going to cover the backend part. We will see what are things we will be doing in that. And then after the backend is done, we'll create the separate backend, separate front end. We'll integrate the backend with front end, we'll do other things. Okay, it's just the crux of the site. We'll again explain you in detail. So great, guys. I see we have great number of crowd right now joining with us. Okay, hope so you get a lot of things along with you. Okay, from this boot camp, 5 days of boot camp, and see, be punctual. No need to like miss out any kind of lectures in between. I want you to be punctual because that's what will benefit you right now. And one more thing, okay? Sir, will we learn only Mongo or else Node.js? Obviously, we are going to add Node.js for the backend, okay? It's not like we will integrate Mongo, but we will not use Node.js. Obviously, the MERN stack, we have to integrate the Node.js and database will be MongoDB, okay? Yeah. So guys, yeah, one more thing I was giving instruction to you that yeah, so the session will be kind of 1 hour, 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes. That will be the session time. Okay. So right now we started our session at 7 o'clock. Okay. So for sure, the session will get up to 8 or at max it can go till 8:10 or 8:15 too, depending upon what topic I am teaching you and what things are being covered. So in that particular case, you should not spam in the comment section for attendance link and other related issues. If you have any doubts, feel free to add in the comment section. I will clear it out for you. Okay. No need to spam about attendance that telling that I said give me attendance form, give me attendance form. Please, please, I request you do not do that. And other things too. What orator we are going to use, what all other things are we going to use? We'll understand it one by one. Do not worry about that too. Okay. How will we take attendance? So I will circulate a Google form for you at the end of the lecture, around 5 minutes or 10 minutes before ending the lecture. So in that Google form, you have to mark your attendance, and that will be how you need. What prior knowledge is required? You do not need any such knowledge. Okay, see, if you have certain knowledge of basic React and others, that will be fine. React Node basic things, it would be great because we will be building our platform on those technologies. So feel free to join us to understand us if you have basic knowledge of React, Node, and other things. Okay. Is it good for beginners? Yeah, obviously it is good for beginners, but it does not mean that you should have zero knowledge of React and Node. You should have something. Okay. I want to learn full stack web development. Great, Ganesh. You should learn full stack web development. Is there will be recorded video. Obviously, after the live, we will get the recorded video on our channel itself because YouTube has the feature to record and show it up. Okay. Yeah, Gautam, I already told you about the attendance thing. Okay. No problem. I just need that you have a kind of basic information of the React. Okay. That will work great for me. Okay. It is MERN full stack. Obviously, MERN is a full stack tech stack. Okay. So in that case, we have MongoDB, Express, React, and Node.js. So we'll get into everything, guys. Do not worry. I'm going to explain you everything because this is an introductory session. We'll explain you how our architecture will work. We'll explain you what are things we are going to use and how those things work. Okay. You do not need to worry about these or small things. I am there to explain you. And so let's get into this. Okay. Let's get into this. Let's understand each and everything and let's code because that's what we are here for. Okay. Okay, guys. So we can first of all get into understanding the basics. So what we are going to build and what all pages, what all features we might build, and what all services are we going to use. Because obviously, if we are building something, we need to kind of understand the crux of that. Okay, it's not like we can build anything without getting into the basic intro or the basic understanding of that particular item. Okay. Okay, so let's get on the whiteboard. Okay, I hope so. My screen is visible to you, right? See, the problem with speaking in Hindi is I have many audience that is from either south part of India or else there are many audience outside of the India. So I have to cater them to. So for that particular reason, I cannot speak only in Hindi. Okay, so for that reason, I have to stick to English language. Okay. Great. So let's first of all get into understanding what we are going to build today, from today. Okay. So the platform that we will build is kind of a to-do list platform. Okay. I know you would ask me, this is the basic project. No, this is not a basic project. We'll build a full-fledged because I am building it keeping in mind that you are kind of a beginner. Okay. Not intermediate, not a kind of excellent programmer, no, but as a beginner, I have created this site, I have created this project taking in mind that you are a kind of beginner. So we will build a to-do list application. We'll have many features in that. So first, quickly, let's understand what all features we'll have in this. Okay. So first thing, obviously, if we talk about the front-end pages, if we talk about front-end pages, we will have kind of single page. Why we will have a single page along with why is it single page? Because we are just dealing with a to-do application. And if not possible, like obviously we'll add one more page for your user profile kind of thing. Okay, that will be also one more page. So first thing that we have is to-do home page that we will be building along with homepage, obviously, as we are doing a full stack application. Okay, using HTML CSS, we can build. See, the thing is, we are in a MERN bootcamp. Okay, so for that obvious reason, we are going to use React. So if you want to build the same application with HTML, you can. But for your learning, I think so. You should explore more out of HTML and CSS. Okay. Yeah, so we will have our homepage. Along with homepage, we'll have our sign-in page. Why sign-in? Because we are building a full stack application. So for that particular reason, we need a sign-in as well as a sign-up page. Okay, so two important pages: sign-in as well as sign-up page, and everything will have their consecutive backend services. Okay, so everything will have its backend services. So now, what will be the architecture for front end and backend? Let's kind of understand that. So see, one more doubt that you have is what platform are we going to use for coding? So we'll primarily use CodeSandbox. So now the question arises, can't we use VS Code? Can't we use Atom? Can't we use other code editors? Obviously, you can. Okay, it's your discretionary choice. But why am I using Code Sandbox? Because it is best online coding platform that you can get. And one more thing is I need to prefer my code shareability. Okay, because I will be sharing the code with you. I will be sharing code with all the students and everyone. So for that particular reason, I will use the code sandbox. So code sandbox kind of environment for me to code. So that's why I will be using code sandbox. Now, I would prefer if you go with code sandbox. If not a problem. You can manage it on your own if you're using other platforms. But if possible, please go with code sandbox for now. Okay, great. So can we just a minute? So can we make a project in this bootcamp? Obviously, you have to make a project for this bootcamp. Okay, we are not organizing this bootcamp only for your learning, but actually also for for your understanding of the project. Okay, For that particular reason, at the end of bootcamp, you will get some time to kind of work on this and practice. Okay. Yeah, Mahesh, obviously, if you're taking lecture, the laptop is not required, but if you want to implement this, you will require a laptop. So better if you have this with you. Okay. Okay. Now, let me can we use VS Code? Dhoni, you can, but I would suggest you to go with CodeSandbox because it will be kind of much more easier to do over there. Okay. Okay, so now let's understand what architecture are we going to use in this case. So first, what we will build is we will build our backend services. Okay, so we will have our backend services, and this backend services will be separate. Then after backend, we will have our front end work or else front end pages. So now the back end will be separate, front end will be separate. Obviously, we are not going to merge them up because this is only the reason. Okay, so because you're working on a full stack application, it does not means you have to merge them up together. Okay, you have to kind of separate them. You have to create separate service for backend, and then you have to create separate for front end, and then you have to add them up together. Okay, so backend is separate, front end is separate, and they will have a link of what we have a link of API. Okay, so what is API? API will be application program interface. So backend will be one part, front end will be one part, and they will both be linked together for our by using our API. Okay, guys, whatever notes I am making right now, whatever things I am writing, you will get it. Every asset, everything that every notes, every related topics related whatever you want to call it as resources will be shared with you. Okay, do not worry about this, but better focus on this lecture. Okay. Okay, you will surely get, do not worry about it. Okay, so yeah, so first of all, so now the topic comes to our API. Okay, so API will be our application program interface. Okay, why are we going to use this now? You have your backend is connected with your database, backend is connected with your authentication. Now, those everything that you have created is kind of created on a separate area. Okay. Now you have front end that is also created on a separate area. Now to merge them up or else to connect them up, we need a bridge between them. So that bridge is API. Okay, application program interface. So interface is a kind of link between backend and front end. Okay. Now let me give you an example. Suppose you have a database. Okay, I'm giving example of database, and database has certain information. What information does it has is it has information of students in a college. It has information of students. Now you have one front end. You have one front end for you. Okay. Now this front end, what it does it shows the detail of the student that you have in database. Okay. Now one way is either you hard code each and every data on the front end. That is one way, but actually that is the worst way that's possible. Okay. So now what you will do, you will with this data base, what you will do, you will fetch every detail from this data to your backend. Okay, to your backend. Now backend will be a Node.js code. Backend will be a Node.js code that will handle fetching the data from your database. After your data is being fetched, then we will be using a API, application program interface, to send that data to our front end part. Okay. So what we will do, we will now send our data to our front end part, and then our front end part will show that data on the screen. Okay. So that's why we will need API, we will need Node.js backend, we will need database, and also we will need authentication. Okay. So this is the basic architecture that we will build in this bootcamp. Now let's get into the backend architecture. What actually are we going to add in our backend? Okay. Okay, guys, clear at this point? Is there any doubt from your end? Code Sandbox is free. You have around 600 credits for creation of Code Sandbox. Do not worry about that. It does not require any money. See, guys, bootcamps are for your learning. Okay, so whoever is taking a bootcamp, he or she will try that you do not need to spend any money on learning because while a student is learning, we do not kind of want you to spend any kind of money. So for that particular reason, what we do, we always take up the resources that is free for you. Okay, we do not want you to spend any kind of money. That's it. Have a belief on me. Have patience. Everything that we use will be free. Okay. Okay, guys. So now let's get into the backend. Okay. So what actual backend are we going to use? Now, see. So in case of backend, first thing we will be creating services. So services is kind of yeah. So services will be certain functionalities of your application. Okay. So what all functionalities do we need to cover? So first functionality that we need is adding a sign in or sign up. Okay. So first functionality that we need is either sign in or else sign up. So for that particular case, we would need database. For that particular case, we would need a separate endpoint. Okay. After sign up, we have one more thing that is adding to do. Okay. Sorry for this. Kind of my handwriting is too bad today. Okay. Just give me a moment. Okay. So after this, what we will do, we will kind of add a to do. Okay, so we'll add a to do. So for this we need one services. Then after adding to do, we will also have an option to update a to do. So might be a case you need to change the deadline or else other features. Okay, we'll see one by one what are features we are going to add in this. Okay, so we'll kind of update our to do. After updation, we would also need one more thing, that is deletion of to do. Okay, deletion of to do, and along with this we need a get. So what will we get? So whatever to do you have created in past and other things, we need to fetch those to do for you in the current website. Okay, so this will be one more thing that we need to create. So this will be crux of the services that we are going to create. So once we start with the backend part, we will understand it more. Okay. Yeah, fine. So now let's understand what all things are we going to use, what all different services and platforms are we going to use. Okay. So first thing that I need you to have is if you do not have CodeSandbox, you can create a account on the CodeSandbox and you can start with it. Second thing that is required is MongoDB. Okay. So now you would be having MongoDB Compass. Okay. I want you to shift from Compass to Atlas because we need a cloud database. Okay, why we need a cloud database? Because we will be obviously deploying this platform. So for that particular reason, we are going to kind of have a cloud database. So you can fetch, you can use the Atlas for that particular reason. So this will be our NoSQL database. Okay, it is non-SQL database. Okay, so no SQL DB. We'll understand the schema, how we are creating schema for all the cases for user authentication and for the to-do creation. Everything we will be seeing. After your mongoose, we would also need JWT. So why are we going to need JWT? So JWT is JSON Web Token. Okay. So JSON Web Token will be used for authentication purpose. Okay. How will this JSON web token work? I will just explain you. Okay. So one important platform is MongoDB. You need to have another one is JWT. On MongoDB, you need to sign up and you need to create an account. I will show you kind of demo for that. JWT do not need to go on the website and create an account. Okay, but let's kind of understand how JWT will work. Okay, so having JWT does not means that your database will not store the information or credentials. It will obviously store, but kind of we have certain different thing. Okay, now what will be the working of JWT? Suppose you have a user. Okay, you have a user A. Now, user A will have two things. One is your user ID. Okay, every user will have a user ID, and user A will add his or her user email. Okay, so we are just adding email and password authentication right now. Okay, so user ID, then you have user email, and along with user email, you will have your user password. Now, So ID is auto generated. I will write auto in front of this, and email and password is kind of user choice. Okay, this will be your user choice. So now email and password user will add. Okay, and the ID will be auto generated. Now one thing you need to understand is this user email and password. So altogether ID plus email plus of password. They all together will get stored in your MongoDB. Okay. They all together will get stored in your MongoDB. Now, the question arises that if you are storing this up in a MongoDB, might be a case that it can get theft. Okay, it can be stealed by someone. So for that particular reason, we will encrypt this data. Okay, only your user email and ID will be kind of visible. The password will be encrypted. Okay, so what encryption are we going to use? We will use our predefined library of Bicrypt in this particular case, because see, we are not building a very high level of application where we need to define our own encryption mechanism. No, obviously no. Okay, we are not going to define our own encryption mechanism. We will use Bicrypt library. We will be encrypting our password by using that, and then it will be fine. We can store it up in our uh, database. Okay. Now, one thing more remaining. So this is stored in our database. Now, by using user ID, what will happen? JWT will use your user ID and it will kind of create a web token. Okay. It will kind of create a web token. So now this web token will get stored in your cache. So what cache are we talking about? So cache is first of all temporary storage on your system itself. Okay. So the web token that is created and sent to you by JWT will get stored in your system cache where you have login. Okay. So this token will get stored in system cache. Along with that, it will also be stored in JSON DB, JSON database. Okay, so JSON database is the company database. We do not have access to that. Okay, so we will be using that. Okay, now one thing, when you log in into it, or when you try logging into the JSON, sorry, when you try logging into the site by using a credential, so in that case, what are we using? We are using ID. So when the user will add email and password, by using email and password, we will fetch the ID of the user. Now, the ID of your user is associated with a certain token that is stored in a cache. Now, this token will be compared with the token stored on JSON Web, and by comparison, we will create an authentication mechanism. Okay, authentication mechanism. So what we are comparing, we are comparing two tokens. Okay. So one token that is stored on a system. So I will write it over here. So we are comparing system token as well as we are comparing JSON token that is actually on your JSON DB. Okay. JSON DB token. So these are two things that we are going to compare. Okay. Clear, guys? So why are we using JSON? JSON will be clearly used for authentication purpose. And once authentication is done, JSON will not have any use to that point. Okay. So one by one, we will be creating each and every services for us, starting with understanding how we can create a GET request, how we can create a POST request. So one more thing is there. Obviously, we are going to use Express, purely Express for this case. We'll understand how we can add this all services on our CodeSandbox and how we can kind of perform it. Okay, so let's begin in that. But let's understand first of all how we can go with MongoDB. Can we use Firebase instead of MongoDB? So if you are using Firebase, then the stack will not remain as MERN. Okay, we are trying to stick with the stack that is MERN stack. Okay, so for that particular reason, we will stay with the Mongo right now. Okay. I didn't complete the second one, that is to send a message to group. Is that okay? I do not have that knowledge. You can understand with others. Password is not a way to authenticate. Obviously, the password is a way to authenticate, but to add one more level of security, we are using JWT. So email ID and password does not actually guarantees you a total security, obviously. Okay, so I'm not telling that it will not kind of act as a gatekeeper for you. It will act, but there is kind of certain issues like it can get stealed up, it can have any other issues. Okay, so I'll speed up little fast. Obviously, I will speed up, but I need to cover each and every one of you. Okay, great, Mayank. If you have made a sign up page, we'll make it again on the I think the third day of the lecture, most probably, or I think the second day itself. Okay. Okay, great. So I will just give you a crux of what we are actually going to build, and then we'll get into MongoDB, how we can create a account over there, how we can actually create a cluster in this case. Okay. Okay, so just a 5 minute kind of revision for you in this case. So see, first thing that we are going to do, we will be creating the backend services obviously first, but I will tell you what the front end are we going to do. We'll have a to-do homepage, okay. Along with that, we'll have a sign in and sign up page, okay. And we also have one more feature of startup feature, I think so. So I will reveal it up either on the fourth or fifth day, okay. So along with this, we will be working with the code sandbox. And the main important part, remember, we are obviously going to add backend totally clearly and the front end totally differently. Okay. And we'll link them up by using API. So what is the use of API? API will be used to link our front end and backend. So application program interface and in the backend services will have sign in and sign up. Okay, and then add to-do list option, update to-do list, delete to-do list, and fetch to-do list option we have. Then for database, NoSQL database will be used. And please stay with MongoDB Atlas. Do not go to MongoDB Compass. Why? I'm telling you again this. The Compass will have a local host server. Okay. So when you have a local host server in terms of database, in that case, if you are trying to access it by using any cloud service or as cloud platform, in that case, it will not work. So for that particular reason, please create a cluster on MongoDB Atlas, and then you will be good to go. Then we'll add a JWT, JSON Web Token for our authentication. I already explained you how it will be working. Okay, we will compare the web token generated and the web token is stored on our system cache and web token that will be stored on our JSON database. Okay, that's what we will be doing. Great. Now, yeah, so if you want to know the resource again, see, first thing that you need to have is you can have a code sandbox account. Okay, over there, I will tell you how to create a sandbox or dev box. Don't worry about this. Then you need to have a database on MongoDB at least. Okay, so I'm going to get into that part itself, how we can create our database by using MongoDB at least. So do not worry about that. Okay. Okay, so let's get into our MongoDB. Okay, MongoDB Atlas, and I will be creating a fresh account along with you. So we'll understand how we can get into each and every part. And yeah, one more thing, it might be cases that you would, yeah. So I will sign up directly with my Google. Okay, yeah, guys, I hope so. You are going along with me. Okay, there might be thing that I might be somewhat fast than you, but please try to cope up and create your MongoDB account. And we have created it up, and we are getting signed in to our MongoDB account right now. Okay, no, do not worry about the project right now. You will get the time to create the project after we are done with this bootcamp. Okay. So, yeah, we have one more important thing in this bootcamp that we are kind of we are kind of going with startup features, something like you have to pitch this platform or you have to create a demo link and other things. We'll explain to you that too on the fifth day. Okay, what are things that you have to do. So if you want to know the crux, we might need to create a kind of demo link for you, and you need to accordingly, like you need to define or you need to explain the site that you have created. So the definition or is the explanation that you give it should be a kind of pitch that a startup founder gives you. Okay, so we are doing a MERN full stack. Obviously, we are doing a MERN full stack, but we also need you to explore that side too. For that particular reason, you need to do that too. Okay, yeah. So now Let me accept the privacy policy. If I do not accept the privacy policy, it will not let me in. Okay. So let's wait till the processing goes on. Okay. What is the duration of this lecture? It will go till 8 or else 8:15, depending upon the topic that we are covering. Do not worry about that. Okay. So now my account is kind of created. Okay. So I have to fill in some details about me. What is your primary goal? Obviously, right now I will add it as learn MongoDB. How long have you been developing software with MongoDB? So if you want, so see guys, this all selections are not going to affect how you can use the platform. So you can add the data, genuine data that you have. Okay, you do not need to worry about. So if I write it as more than a year, it does not mean it will start charging you. No, do not worry about that. Yeah, it is MongoDB Atlas. Okay. Okay, so what programming language are you primarily building MongoDB with? So right now we are going to use JavaScript or is Node.js. So please stick with this JavaScript slash Node.js. What type of data will use the project? So it will be kind of JSON data, but you can add anything. Okay, streaming, user activity, location, catalog, customer. So we can go with customer or else user profile data. Okay. So even though it might not fit in, no problem. Okay. We can go with this. Okay. Fine. Okay. So can you release attendance form is released? No, attendance form is not yet released. Please have patience. We'll release it. Okay. So will your application include any of the following architecture models? So let's see what all models do we have. Event-driven, distributed app server, IoT, AIML, microservice. So we have this all services. I know you would not be having knowledge of each and every one. So if you do not know what kind of service are we going to use, so we will go with not sure. Okay. So we are going with not sure because we kind of do not have knowledge what MongoDB are we going to use, because for one platform there might be different kind of service. For another platform the model would be different. So for that particular reason, uh, we are going to stay with not sure. So basically it's a server based data storage. Yeah, obviously Starboy, it is a server based data storage that we are using right now. Okay. Yeah, Anish, this video will stay after the live is done. Okay. See, the same project that we are building right now, that will only be given to you. Do not worry about this. Okay. We are not going to give you something out of our learning curve. Okay. So the things that we're learning, only that will be given to you. Okay. Now I will go with finish. You also have the option to skip it up, but better to add it up. Okay. Fine, done. And now you are over creation of cluster. Okay, directly it leads to you. It leads you to creation of cluster. And in cluster, you have three options. Two are paid, one is free. So in paid option, you can go with M10 service. It will be $0.08 per hour. Kind of, it will become more expensive for you. It will give you 10 GB of storage and 2 GB RAM. No need. Then comes your flex or kind of flexible service. It will be 0.00 dollars per hour and it can go max to $30 per month. But you are neither developing a great platform like big platform for deployment, neither you are testing any big platform. So you do not need this. What you need is a free service. Keep guys always have attention on this. Okay, please do not go with any paid service. Okay, it's better for you. If you want to choose personally, if you it's your personal choice, then fine, no worries. If you want a better RAM, if you want better CPU, if you want 10 GB of storage or 5 GB of storage, you can obviously have this. Okay, fine. So if you do not want to pay, please go with the free version. And you can name it up. You can name anything. I am naming it as Cluster Zero for now. Okay, and you have three options. Either go with AWS, Google Cloud, Azure. If I go with Google Cloud, the options, the paid options and free options remain same. Only the platform on which this database will get hosted differs. So I will stay with AWS. Okay. And the region also you can change, but I hope so you do not get into these all things. Just add basic information that you want. You can change the name of the cluster. I will keep the name right as it is right now. Okay, then go on the option of create deployment. Do not go in the advanced configuration. because we will not kind of change anything in the advanced configuration. If you want, I can show you. So in advanced configuration, you have global cluster configuration. So cloud provider you have along with the region, you can change that up. Cluster tier, we already taken up the free and additional settings. So we do not want that. So we'll cancel it up and we'll go back. Okay. I think so. The cluster is not ready. Yeah. I have to click on create again. Sorry. Continue with draft. Yeah. Continue with draft and great. So I have chosen free service and it will get hosted on AWS. The cluster name is still cluster 0. Okay. So let's click on create deployment. Okay. The cluster name, you can change it up according to your choice. Okay. I am keeping cluster 0 because I'm not going to deploy any great thing over here. Okay. So create a database user kind of I will not create and allow access for anywhere. Why am I adding allow access from anywhere? Because we will access this database by using CodeSandbox. So for that particular reason, we are allowing access for anyone. Now, if suppose you are the sole user of this database, okay, you are the only user and you are not using any cloud platform, or you know the IP address from which this cluster will be used. In that case, you can add your current IP either, or else you can add any other different IP. So if you click on current IP, so this is my current IP. Okay, I think so. I should not show you this. Sorry for this. Okay, no problem. We have VPN here. So we'll allow access for everyone, and we'll click on allow access for everyone, and then we'll click on add IP. So the only reason to add allows is because we will be implementing this database by using our CodeSandbox. That is our cloud platform. Okay, fine. I hope so. Everyone is done till this point. Okay. Anyone having any doubt in between? Anyone? Any doubts till this point? Anything that you did not understand from this? Guys, the more you chat about attendance, the more delayed it will get. Okay. So we are still at, I think so, 7:38. So you need to have patience, okay? Can you change the language used later? Yeah, obviously you can change the language used later. See, I told you that those are not rigid settings, okay? Those are settings to understand the user, only to understand the user. So if you are using any other language, you can obviously change. And the way you are going to use MongoDB, so the connection link that you will get, it will be kind of the same. So despite of the language that you're going to use, do not worry about that, okay? Obviously, Aryan, the video will be available after the recording, after the live. Okay. How to get this connect to cluster page? We are at the cluster page, right? I by mistake cut it. You can click on create cluster again. If the draft is stored, in that case, it will give you the option to get back from where you left. If it is not stored, in that case, you have to start back again. Okay. Okay, guys. So remember, the IP should be kept as all IP. Although I see. I'm telling you that giving access to all IPs will kind of give a security risk. Okay, but we need to allow every IP to get access, okay? Because we will be using it up from CodeSandbox for that particular reason. We need this, okay? So just give me one moment. I will kind of stop sharing my screen to create my username and password. So over here, I also need you to create username and password for creating a database user. Okay. Without that, we would not be able to add this. So just give me a moment. I will pause my screen share and just it will take me 2 minutes to complete this part. And meanwhile, you also have to complete this. Okay. Okay, just give me 2 minutes and let me set up my username and password. Okay. Okay, so I am creating my username password and just give me a moment and I will create my database user. Okay, fine. I'm done with creation of my username and password. Great. So after you are done with creation of username and password, you will get this link to choose a connection method. Okay, so how you want to choose the connection or else how you want to connect it up with the platform. Okay, so we'll understand this up once we are starting with your backend part. Okay, so obviously we'll start it up right now today itself. Do not worry about that. Okay, sir, is it auto gave by my username and password? Is it, no, it's not an issue. If Google auto gave you username and password, it's not an issue for this. Okay, Filmy Focus, the thing that we did is we added a username and password for our cluster. Okay. So I know how to create a cluster. Great. If you know how to create a cluster, then it's fine. I'm not trying to the unit how at Jones. I think so. You need to register for that to get added in the community. Okay. Okay, guys. Fine. So now we are done with the database creation. We do not need anything for the JWT. Like we do not think any. We if we need while working on a backend thing, I will explain to you. Now let's close this up. Okay, let's close till this point, and we'll get back again on this while we need to connect our database again. Okay. Okay, fine. So now let's get on CodeSandbox. Okay. So now we will be creating our CodeSandbox first of all. So what all predefined templates we need and what all modules or else what all libraries we need. We'll first of all not inform, but actually install them one by one. After these are installed, and then we'll move forward with our main file. Okay. So let's get into this part, and I see many of you commenting many different things right now. Okay, just give me a moment, and we'll get into the CodeSandbox creation. Okay, so for all backend and database, some process over here. Backend will be built by using Node, and will connect our database by using that same code. Okay, so whatever server we are creating, that server will handle the backend also for you. Okay. Okay, fine. Great. So let's get into this. Let's create our CodeSandbox for now. So you can sign up on the CodeSandbox. We will not start from the basic of sign up because sign up is kind of thing that you can already complete on your own. Okay. So now, first thing you need to do is click on the create button. You have a create button. Click on create button. Inside create button, search for Node. Okay. So you have two, three options: Node HTTP server, Node.js, Node Express, Node Starter, and Nest. So now either you can go with the normal node or else you can go with node HTTP server or Express server, whatever you want to choose. The only problem with Node Express server is that the basic template is in TypeScript and we do not want to use TypeScript for us. So this code or else this project will not be having TypeScript. So for that particular reason, we are not using Node Express server. So we will go with HTTP, although everything will be written by using our Express. We will not use any HTTP server, but for the basic template, we are going to use HTTP server. Now let's name our application. So application name, I am giving it as to-do backend because the to-do list application is what we are going to create right now. Okay. Obviously, see, guys, there is always a scope for each type of development that you work on. Although the methodology might change, the way you develop something might change, but there is always the scope for this. Okay. And as a see, if you are invested in technology, if you understand invested in tech stacks, please be ready to learn new technologies each year and every 6 months or whatever time frame you like. Okay, because things changes obviously. So anything does not goes out of the market suddenly. It takes time. Okay, and MERN is right now not getting out of the market. It is getting used frequently. The libraries of React, that is Next, Vue, and other things are getting used rigorously. Okay, so do not worry about this, guys. Okay, okay. So let's get into this. Okay, fish orange white eye. Yeah, Saja, what is this fish orange white eye? Okay, so now you have to-do list backend and the SS visibility that I will keep it as public. I will keep it as for everyone. So now it is done. Then you have only DevBox for this. No need to try adding Sandbox because it is not available. You can work with the DevBox right now. Okay. So it's done. We have named it up. We have set our visibility to public, and then we'll create our dev box. Let's click on create dev box, and it will take around 1 minute to completely create us dev box. Okay. So once it is done, then we'll move. Guys, the comment section is not your attendance place. It's not a place where you need to mark your attendance. You will get a separate attendance form for you. Okay, so please do not write attend or attendance or attended in the comment section. Okay, Napman, it is obviously possible, but to understand how this services, how this data that you're sending from backend will look on front end, or else how should you frame the backend much more better so that it is kind of good on the front end. In that case, you need to learn. So the basic flow goes from front end to backend itself. Okay, you should not actually jump to the backend part. Okay, obviously not can do not do this project in your mobile because mobile does not has environments to set up. Okay, you can go with any of this. If you want, you can go with the compass option. Okay, so we are not going to actually get into sorry, we will not have any trouble with this because either of thing you choose, we only need the connection string. Okay, we only need a connection string for us, so that will be the only requirement for us. So you can go with the compass. You can add the connection link to your normal local compass, and you can test it out if you want. Okay, no need to worry about this. Open source opportunity, yeah. So obviously, the MERN stack has a great open source opportunity. Do not worry about this. Okay. Okay, guys. So my dev box is created. Okay. So this is my template for dev box, and this is the output that I'm getting from my dev box. So first thing that I will do right now is I will get into installing all my dependencies beforehand. So before starting the backend service creation, I will download all the required dependencies. So we'll start with Bicrypt. So Bicrypt is used for actually encrypting the passwords that we are going to use for our platform. Okay, so Bicrypt will be used for that purpose. So let's add Bicrypt first of all. So Bicrypt is installed. After Bicrypt is installed, we need CORS. So what is CORS? So CORS is cross origin. Okay, so now we are creating APIs, and those APIs will be used between two origins. Okay, so for that purpose, we need a course, and after course, we need Express. So the main primary thing that we are going to use is Express, not type slash Express, but actually Express itself. Okay, okay, fine. Express is also done, and then after Express, we'll need JSON web token. Okay, so JSON web token. Let's download the JSON web token first of all, and it's already downloaded. Then after JSON web token, we need a mongoose. Okay, so not MongoDB, but actually mongoose. Okay, so spelling right, yeah, mongoose. So we need a mongoose. So see, guys, MongoDB is our database, and mongoose is required to connect that particular database with our service. So mongoose, see, I will repeat all uh, packages that we need, dependencies that we need. So you need to have mongoose, Bicrypt, CORS, Express, and JSON web token, and node and at the rate type slash node will be already pre-installed for you. Okay, so this will be the basic requirement for our site. I hope so. This is visible to you, right? 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Okay, fine. It is visible to you. Great. So this will be the basic requirement that you need to have. Okay. Please install it beforehand because we do not want to run into any kind of errors. Now, Another question arises from your side is, sir, how do you know what all packages do we need? Because I have already done my research. I have already kind of created the roadmap for this. That's why I know. But in a realistic environment where you will be coding from scratch, in that particular case, you do not know actual dependencies that you need. So, in the realistic coding environment, you will download this whenever you are required. So, I did all the download of dependencies beforehand, before creation of my backend service. I downloaded it. But if I work in a realistic environment, in that case, when I feel the requirement in between the development, in that case, I will download it over there. Okay. Will there be bootcamp for Java? Obviously, we can think about that. We will try arranging a bootcamp for Java. Okay. Fine. So these are the kind of backend services that we need. Sorry, backend modules that we need. Now, next thing that we would need is, so we can kind of compress it up. Okay. And if you want to add anything to README, you can, but we will not be adding. And we have index.js. Okay. So index.js, either you can add all your code in index.js, or else you can also create another file known as server.js. But we do not have a great backend service. For that, we do not need to have separate file for each and every service. Okay. So for that particular reason, we'll add everything to this index.js itself. See, guys, I know you have like flexibility. Okay, you have a flexibility to create your kind of MongoDB schema on a different file. You have flexibility to create get, post, put request on a different file. You have flexibility to create a JSON on a different file. Obviously, you have no worries, but flexibility should be used when we have a great complex system. Right now, the system that we are having is kind of a small system. Okay, because this is built for beginners to understand how actually we can implement this. Okay, for that particular reason, we are sticking up to just a single JS file, and we will be adding all the services and all the server, everything that we require in that particular file itself. Okay, fine. So now just give me a moment. Okay, fine. So, okay, so we have our index.js, and so we can move forward with it. Just give me a moment. I'm sharing the attendance form with you. Okay, you can mark your attendance. We are not stretching the session kind of to 1:15, 8:15. Will Yeah, fine. Okay, so let's get back to thing. So we have created our index.js. Our server is already up and running. Okay, we have our server that is already up and running, and it has your HTTP. So we do not want HTTP server, but actually we need an Express server. So for that particular reason, by today, what we are going to do, we will create a server first of all, and from tomorrow we will start creating our services. Okay. So let's create a server. And guys, the attendance link is already pinned on the top. So I hope so you can mark it up. And I will already inform you if you leave today's attendance. If you by chance, if you miss out today's attendance, you will not get the option to mark it up on tomorrow's class. Okay. So please add your attendance right now, and please not ask me tomorrow for the previous attendance. Okay, so let's get into creation of server, and for this I will need express. So I will do const express is equals to, so we have already installed our express, so we will not have any module error. Okay, so const express is equals to require express. So first thing that we are doing is we are creating our express instance, and then we are requiring that express. Next thing that we will do is we'll do app.use, because this application is going to use express. So we'll use app.use express dot json. Okay, so next thing that we did is app.use express dot json for this particular folder. Okay, how to begin my startup idea? Obviously, the startup idea is your choice. You can choose any of the idea that you want, but right now you need to present this platform kind of a pitch. Okay, we'll get to know. Can I use because see Anish, if you are learning, if you are kind of new to certain thing, I expect you not to go with any AI platform because while learning, you do not need to hamper your learning curve. Okay, if you get easy access to all these AI platforms beforehand, so in that particular case, you will kind of exploit it up. Okay, so the learning part will not go on much better for you. Okay, and you can mark either first or second year. It does not really concerns right now. Okay, whatever year you are in, it does not actually creates any effect for you in this case. Okay, so we added our app.use. Now let's create our server for this particular case. Okay, okay, so now we'll do app.listen because our server will be listening on certain port. And right now, by default, I will add a port of 8080 for our case. Okay, so you can also have your port getting fetched from environment variable too. But for now, we will add it up right now like this. Okay, and we'll do console.log and we'll say that server is running on port 8080. Okay, so this will be my output for this particular case. Okay, so my server has been created and I have a certain issue. App is not defined. So now we also need to define const app. Okay, so without that, we would not be able to use it up. So const app is equals to, so in case of const app, we'll directly call our express module. So const app is equals to express. Okay. Now, in this case, our server is created and server is up and running. But we do not have anything in this server. We do not have any service in this server. That is why we are not having any output for our case. Okay. So this is how you will create a server by using Express. So by default, it was an HTTP. We removed the HTTP and we created our server by using sorry Express right now. Okay. If you close the right side bar of the preview, you will have an option over here. Okay, click on this and you can go with start 8080. You can go from there. Okay, fine. Okay, so now let me show you how we can add other modules too. Okay, just give me a moment. Fine. So after Express, what you would need one more thing, not one, but many things. So we would need mongoose. So const mongoose is equals to, so we'll do require mongoose. So we'll kind of add all our required packages today. Okay, const mongoose is equals to require mongoose. And then after mongoose, you will need JWT. So const JWT is equals to, sorry for this, and it will be require. So JWT is your JSON, okay? JSON web token. So we'll do JSON web token in this case, okay? And after JSON web token, you have bcrypt, okay? So const bcrypt is equals to require bcrypt, okay? Const bcrypt is equals to require your bcrypt JS. So we already added your application. Now we can add a port. So const port is equals to, so either we can do process dot env dot port. So I will explain you how to add the env file also. Do not worry about that. Or else by default the port that we will use is 8080 and we'll define our mongo url is equals to process dot env dot mongo url. We haven't added our env links or else we haven't added our environmental variables. So we'll add it tomorrow. Okay. So do not worry about this now. Now we created our port. So in this, what we'll do, we will add our port. Okay. So we'll add our port and this is our port. My server is up and running now. We have certain crash. What is the crash? Is mongoose model not found. Request I cannot find module mongoose. So let me check if we are done with installing of mongoose or not. Okay, so we were done with the mongoose, right? Okay, so the mongoose was already installed. And what is the issue? Not find a module through error local. So let me try installing it again. Okay. I hope so that will not be issue. Okay, so some successfully saved one dependency. And okay, so let me rerun this. Okay, let me open my terminal again. And let me rerun this up again, new terminal. Yeah, so installation is going on. So I will do npm start by default and let's see. Okay, again the issue is same. Okay, process.env.mongo URL. So it will be process.mongo env.mongo URL and our server is up and running again on 8080. Okay, fine. Yeah, so process.enc was wrong. We made kind of small spelling mistake. You can update it as process.env and we'll add our we'll add our Mongo, sorry, we'll add our environmental variables tomorrow. Do not worry about that. So till this point, please go through this. You will get the code sandbox link. Along with this, I will send you the notes too. Okay, so whoever is in the WhatsApp group, you will get the codes too. Do not worry about this. Everything, every resources that we create in our session, it will be shared with you. Okay, fine. Great, guys. So in this session, what we did, we kind of understood the structure that we will be covering. We kind of understood what all platforms we are going to use, and we kind of understood how backend service we are going to create. So we have initiated the creation of backend. Now tomorrow, the backend creation will be done. Okay, and then we will tomorrow directly switch to the front end creation, or not front end creation, but front-end implementation. Okay, and we'll understand front-end part two and how we will be linking them, how we'll be doing different things. We'll understand one by one. We'll understand everything. Okay, great guys. Is there any doubt from your side? I hope so. You have marked your attendance. Everything is clear from you or not. If you haven't marked, please mark it up. Okay, so that you do not have any issue. Attendance link is already added and it is pinned in the comment section. Please add it up. Okay. Great, guys. Any doubts? Any problems? Okay, so first lecture, kind of we went on slow because I want you to cope up with this. I will not, I am just copying your code like GPT. Kind of you can add your own flexibility and your own changes to the code. Okay. So I have a doubt. Is it better to learn Node.js and Express.js before React and vice versa? Obviously, it will be much more better if you learn your Node and Express before React. Okay. Wait a minute. I think so. The form is getting open. Yeah, so the form is open. You have to sign into your Gmail ID and then you can mark your attendance. Okay. Form is open. Do not worry about that. Obviously, you will get the today's note. Do not worry about that. About this language, just while teaching, just give short, define about the obvious. Okay, Pratham, I will take it up. No TypeScript. No, there is no TypeScript in this case. It is purely JavaScript for our backend and front end services. Ganesh, it will totally depend upon what all things are you going to add in, what all service, what all hosting platform, what all database you are going to use. So we can't give a rough estimate directly, okay? So for giving a big, kind of big budget for this, we need to get into all functionalities, what all you need to add, okay? Yeah, Gautam, I hope so. It will be much more easier for you tomorrow, okay? Great, guys. See, whatever boot camps you want us to organize, you can kind of give feedback to us. You will have a feedback form at the end of our boot camp. In that, you can also add if you need any other boot camps for us to organize. We'll clearly review that and we'll clearly see if it is possible for us to organize it. Okay. Okay, guys. Great. Okay. What's the base language used? Sir? Obviously, JavaScript is the base language that we are using over here. Okay. Okay, guys, great. It was great having you on board with us. Okay, and tomorrow we will again start with the same timing. We'll go on with the same timing and we'll understand more about this. Okay, so we'll start the main coding part. In that case, low level design, OOPS, TSA. Yeah, we'll see everything one by one. Do not worry. Everything will be covered. If you want any code camps, we'll review it one by one and we'll try organizing it. Okay. Well, guys, thank you for joining this session. Good night. Have a nice day, actually, night ahead. Bye bye. We'll join you at the same time. Okay. Can you tell me what we did today, sir? What is the significance of application of it? See, before building a platform, you need to understand the basic structure. So we just understood the basic structure today. Okay. Oh, guys, great. So we'll end it up now. Okay. So have a nice night ahead. Bye bye. Thank you for joining the session. I hope so you all get back tomorrow again.